Jealous sister tried to ruin my baby's shower by announcing fake paternity test results. Then her husband unexpectedly served her with divorce papers in front of everyone. Minnie and I are a year apart. She's 31, and I'm 30. Growing up, she repeatedly told me she was jealous of me and that she disliked me. That made me really sad because she was my only sibling, someone I loved and looked up to deeply. I always tried to be close to her, but she pushed me away. When she was happy, she was a wonderful sister, fun, creative, full of life. But whenever we argued, she would say really cruel things and try to hurt me physically, punching, pushing, pulling my hair. Our parents would scold her, given that she was the older one. I would tell her how much I admired her and wanted to be close, but she always resented that. Minnie was naturally outgoing, with a fierce passion for the arts. She excelled at makeup, fashion, and loved experimenting with her hair and tattoos. My mom had started me early in school, and eventually, Minnie and I ended up in the same grade because I demonstrated advanced academic abilities. Luckily, we weren't in the same class, as Minnie hated that and often saw me as her competition because I was more academically inclined. But it wasn't a high bar. Minnie just disliked homework, which made my decent grades look stellar. I consistently earned B's and A's, while Minnie only got C's and B's. Her strengths, however, were in art, drama, cooking, sewing, and dance. As I grew older, I fell in love with the violin, thanks to my mom encouraging me, and I also dabbled in French and Korean. Minnie was part of the drama department at school and spent most evenings rehearsing for plays. Things changed for her when she got kicked off the drama team after a fight with some students. The trouble started when she found her boyfriend cheating with another girl from their department. In her anger, Minnie attacked the girl and even set her bag on fire. This led to her being expelled from school. Though not much came of it, our parents talked to the principal, paid the girl off, and she had to repeat 11th grade. Our parents lectured her heavily and grounded her until she turned 18. That incident strained our relationship with them for a long time. Her longest relationship lasted only 6 months, mainly because of her. I wasn't seeking the one, but every decent relationship I had, she tried to sabotage. Once I really liked a guy named Derek. We'd been together 4 months, and things were getting serious. We were about to meet each other's parents. Then, out of nowhere, the night before, he blocked me everywhere: phone, messages, Facebook. The only way to talk was face to face, so I showed up uninvited at his house to confront him. He looked surprised to see me. I asked him what had happened and why he'd blocked me. Hesitating, he finally admitted that my sister had contacted him, raising concerns and sharing stories about my past that painted me in a bad light. I felt a wave of frustration and disbelief. I pressed him for details, and he told me Minnie said I'd been talking to other guys and had sent inappropriate pictures to a guy friend. I was mortified. I tried to explain my side, to deny her claims, but Derek seemed unsure. He asked why his sister would lie so seriously about me. I felt tears coming as I explained how she's always been jealous, always trying to ruin my relationships. I had no idea she'd go that far. The damage was done. Despite my efforts to fix things, Derek doubted whether he wanted to stay with someone who had a troublesome sister like Minnie. I understood. Honestly, I'd probably feel the same if I were in his shoes. Heartbroken, I confronted Minnie about her actions. After a lot of shouting, she finally admitted she felt insecure and jealous that I dated good-looking guys. She told me I always found it easy to meet men, and she hated me for it. She said she thought I was too good for Derek, and that's why she made up those lies. I was furious. Her actions were driven by unresolved jealousy, and it was clear her issues ran deep. Our parents scolded her again, but she didn't seem to care. In the end, she got what she wanted. Derek and I broke up. That moment was a wake-up call, making me realize I needed to distance myself. If I wanted healthy, lasting relationships, I couldn't have her meddling. We both dreamed of studying abroad. She had potential, but fear and lack of initiative led her to pursue computer science here at home, following Dad's advice. Seeing that, I knew I didn't want my parents deciding my future. I worked tirelessly for a scholarship to study abroad, but financial struggles held me back initially. So I compromised, started university locally, doing what I liked. But I didn't give up. After a year, I kept searching, and finally, I secured a scholarship to go overseas. Moving back was emotional. I knew my parents were proud. My last night at home, Minnie apologized for everything since childhood, maybe because she knew I was leaving far away. I chose to forgive her, wanting peace. Studying abroad transformed me, shed some weight, met new people, found my style, and built confidence. Graduating was a milestone. The following year was tough. Finding a job was a struggle. But eventually, I landed a good one and settled into my new life. Meanwhile, Minnie finished her bachelor's here. She wanted to pursue her master's abroad, so I encouraged her. She applied for scholarships but kept getting rejected. When she visited me for 10 days, I saw she'd changed, but she continued to make sly remarks about my clothes and hair. I found her attempts to control my choices, what I wore, how I behaved, very strange. When I took her to work and showed her my office, she looked surprised at its size. I told her about the opportunities I'd been given, but she went quiet, no happiness for me, only talking about her regrets. Later, she expressed a desire to stay longer with me, but I knew her judgment was clouded, so I gently told her she should find her own place. That's when Minnie lost it. She snapped, yelling that she was sick of me, tired of being compared, and that her achievements were never enough. I told her I'd never treated her that way, that she was the one constantly making me feel inferior. Then she said I wasn't anything special and that she could have done the same as me if she'd had the same chances. I told her we'd had equal opportunities, she just failed to seize them, blaming me instead. That made her furious. She called me a spoiled brat and said she wished I'd never been born. Her words cut so deep I had to leave the table and lock myself in my room. 2 days later, she flew back without even apologizing. I finally felt relief. I saw how much we'd changed, and how much I disliked her presence now. Eventually, I met James, who worked in the same industry. We kept crossing paths, had mutual friends, and one evening, at a gathering, we clicked. Drinks, laughs, easy conversation. I thought we'd stay friends, but he asked me out the next day. We dated for 2 years before he proposed. I'm close to his family, his parents, who live here, and they've met my parents via video calls. We planned our wedding. When I got a job offer with double my salary, I knew it was a life-changing move, so I took it. Moving back home meant my family finally met James. My parents adore him, my dad even spends Sundays golfing with him. My new job went well, and James soon found one too. During this time, Minnie kept her distance, avoiding me, refusing to meet James, despite my parents' attempts. I understood, after all, I was cautious she might try to sabotage my relationship like she had before. After a few months, we married in my parents' backyard, small, intimate, just family and close friends. Everything was perfect, blessings, speeches, dancing till midnight. The only person missing was Minnie. She claimed she was sick with a fever, so she couldn't come. We had a wonderful day, and a week later, James and I left for our honeymoon. When we returned, I was at my mom's showing her wedding photos, and Minnie suddenly appeared. As I talked about how happy the grandparents looked, she interrupted, asking if James and I were having money troubles. I laughed, saying I had a much better paying job now, and James was doing well. She mocked me, saying maybe I wasn't telling the truth because I married in our parents' backyard. My mom defended me, saying there was nothing wrong with a simple wedding, especially since James and I preferred to be frugal. Minnie got angry, accusing me of showing off and lying about my salary. I told her I didn't need to prove anything and that we weren't kids anymore, that she should grow up and stop making assumptions or spreading lies. That's why I was glad she didn't come to the wedding. She stormed out crying. My mom tried to calm her, but Minnie didn't listen. Later, she told relatives I was glad she missed my wedding, and she relayed our fight. I sent her a text apologizing, but she never replied. Over the years, I've kept my distance. Although we shared a few good moments, James immediately disliked her. She mocked him, said he wasn't manly enough, and made fun of our Disney movies. She even told my mom she thought James was trying to control me. My mom confronted her, and Minnie admitted she just had a bad feeling about him, something she'd told my mom before. Once, during a lunch at my place, Minnie complained about her boyfriend Larry. He'd moved in, lost his job after 2 months, and wasn't contributing. I told her she needed to kick him out. Suddenly, she said I earned more than James, so I should do the same. I explained that James earned well and contributed equally, that he wasn't just sitting around. My mom agreed, adding that James sacrificed his career for me. Minnie took offense, saying men should always earn more, and questioned why James was okay with me earning more. I told her not every man's ego is fragile like the men she's dated. She never listened. She ended up marrying Larry, despite him being unemployed and temperamental. Their wedding was chaotic, drunk fights with waiters, her brothers trying to hold Larry back. I was embarrassed for her, but I knew she wouldn't listen, so I stayed quiet. Over time, their fights worsened. Larry would kick her out, and she'd crash at our parents' place. We later heard she cheated on him with a coworker, But they decided to stay together and even started couples therapy. This year, I found out I'm pregnant. James and I are over the moon. My parents are thrilled, they're going to be grandparents soon. They promised to support me every step. When Minnie found out, she asked about baby names, offering to help. I kept it to myself, knew how judgmental she could be, and told her no names until the baby was born. She strongly urged we consult everyone, but I insisted it was our choice. For the baby shower, I asked my mom to plan everything, I hate organizing, and told her no gifts, since we didn't know the gender yet. I just wanted to relax with friends, learn about motherhood. On the day, I was happy with just my close friends, non-alcoholic drinks, and good vibes. Suddenly, Minnie arrived wearing a shirt that said Godmother-to-be. My eyes widened, absolutely not. It was awkward, and she kept telling everyone she always wanted to be the godmother, even though she never discussed it with me. Later, during the cake cutting at the gender reveal, James and I found out we're having a boy. Tears filled my eyes as my friends hugged me. But then Minnie suddenly stood up and announced she had something to say. Everyone stopped and looked at her. She held up a document and declared that I had taken a paternity test and that James was not the father. She claimed the results showed a different man. The room went silent. James looked disturbed, and I froze. He asked what was going on, and I just stood there in shock. I looked at Minnie for an explanation. My mother, without hesitation, demanded she explain herself. She snatched the paper from Minnie and pointed out that the mother's name wasn't even mine. That's when Minnie started to laugh. She revealed she'd downloaded a fake test from the internet. Her plan was to prove a point, to expose James as abusive. Everyone was stunned. I asked if she was out of her mind. James had never even raised his voice at me, let alone been abusive. She said she believed men shouldn't earn less, and she suspected James was controlling because he was too happy with my success. She went on with her accusations. I yelled at her, telling her accusations were lies, that she was projecting her jealousy. I told her how I was sick of her always being jealous, turning my baby shower into a chaos. I recounted her lies to my exes, her sabotage, how she always made me feel inferior. My mother told her she'd gone too far. Suddenly, Larry, who'd been silent, stood up, handed her divorce papers, and announced he was leaving her. He said their counseling was pointless because they were toxic. He'd been contemplating divorce and wanted to give her the papers that night but couldn't be with her in her drama. Then he walked out. The room went dead silent. Guests exchanged glances, unsure how to react. Minnie stood there, stunned, clutching the divorce papers. Her attempt to ruin the shower had completely backfired. She faced the unraveling of her own marriage instead. The celebration turned into a tense, somber moment. I decided enough was enough. I asked James to take me out. He agreed. I hugged my mom, who promised to call me later. Minnie tried to apologize, but I didn't even look at her. Since then, I've been trying to stay away. Everyone is still shocked. I've received calls, some crying over what happened. I feel pity for Minnie. She's lost me, her parents, and her husband. I do feel guilty for shouting at her, but at that moment, I believed it was justified. Was I wrong to expose her jealousy in front of everyone after her fake paternity stunt? Update 1. First, I want to thank everyone who read and responded to my story. The kindness and support have overwhelmed me. I've never posted here before, but I needed outside perspectives after what my sister did. It's clear her actions were bizarre and vile, and I agree some professional help is needed. I also need to talk to my parents about cutting her off entirely. I can't have her behaving this way around my baby. Update 2. It's been a month since I last updated. I talked to my parents, they agree that cutting her out is the right choice. Minnie shows no remorse and is now telling people I overreacted, claiming I brought up her past during my wedding to get her husband to divorce her. Larry has since apologized, explaining he'd realized their relationship was toxic. He showed us pictures of his injuries, his broken nose and black eye, and revealed she'd punched and kicked him during fights. It was shocking because I'd thought he was the problem, but now I see her abuse. Our parents told her she's no longer welcome at our homes. She tried to cry, but my mom was furious after her stunt at the shower and told her next time she comes near us, she'll get a restraining order. They also told her she needs psychiatric help, which she refuses, calling us unfair. I've blocked her everywhere, installed security cameras, and if she ever shows up, I'll call the police. Update 3. 8 months later, I'm happy to report I gave birth to my baby boy. The pregnancy was tough, but I'm so grateful our little Alex is here. Our home is filled with his cries and laughter. James and I are adjusting to parenthood. Despite the challenges, we cherish every moment. My parents are constantly there for us. James's parents are flying in next month. Minnie hasn't disturbed us once. I heard she and Larry got divorced and moved to a different city, perhaps to start anew. I do feel sad she can't be part of my celebration, but as a mother, I have to protect my child.